house always wins. Play long enough, you never change the stakes. The house takes you. Unless, when that perfect hand comes along, you bet big, and then you take the house. Been practicing this pitch a little bit. Did I rush it? Felt like I rushed.
That was good. I liked it.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Big Easy Bets podcast. I'm your host, Logan. With me in the studio, Nick Von Brick.
Yo.
Episode 227. Hit the like and subscribe button if you don't mind. This is going to be our AFC conference breakdown. We did our deep dive of all the power conferences for college football. We're going to do the same thing in the NFL, but we're splitting it up into AFC, NFC. So today will be the AFC conference breakdown. It's almost here. I just got back from the beach, feeling refreshed. I've kind of just stopped posting at all over the last 2 weeks, which always stresses me out. But I was like, okay, we're gonna go to the beach. I'm gonna not do basically anything, and then dive right back into it when we get back. So I got back a couple days ago, and here we are back in studio for episode 227. How are you feeling? It's been a minute since we recorded.
Yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm ready. We're almost there.
Yeah, this is my excitement. Every single year, my excitement gets to an all-time high. I feel like every year I get more and more excited with each season that we get to do. But this one in particular is above all else, which we'll get to why here in a little bit. Again, hit that like and subscribe button if you don't mind. A couple things to dive into. Did you see the Saints white helmet announcement?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
I like them.
Okay. I do too. My initial thought, though, was I don't like it. And I think I like took a step back and I was like, why not? Because when I do look at it, I'm like, it does look cool. Like if I think I'm just stuck where I'm like, I don't like almost like an old man. I don't want things to change.
Yeah.
I do love the gold helmet. I mean, the gold helmet's awesome. So if they were going permanently to the white, I would be like, no way, no can do. I'd be out there protesting on airline. But for a whatever it's going to be, color rush or whatever, I do think it looks cool. You saw they have another announcement coming out in like a week.
For uniform announcement?
I'm assuming that's what it is.
Okay.
So my assumption is that it's the gold jersey.
Yeah, we definitely need that.
It's got to be the gold jersey. It's time. It's long overdue. Have we ever worn it since the beer man took the kick return back for a touchdown, Michael Lewis?
No, they didn't. We haven't worn it in
It's like Aaron Brooks days.
20 years, something like that.
It's time, and it's long overdue. I don't know why it's taken this long, and I don't know for sure that's what it is, but I'm assuming that's what it's got to be. Give the people what they want. Give us a gold jersey. My question, though, is are they going to pair the gold jersey with the white helmet? Probably so, and I don't like that.
I'd say gold jersey, gold helmet, and gold pants.
Oh, I don't know. That might be too much. I just love that clip of Michael Lewis and just that era that you got to go gold helmet, gold jersey, black pants. I think that's the cleanest look.
But yeah, I love the white helmet, and I really love LSU's white helmet.
I was about to ask. That was going to be my next question. Because some people don't. Some people
No, I love that helmet. It's the same helmet. Like the Saints, the design is a little bit different.
Yeah.
But LSU's, it's the same helmet, same design with the decals. It's just a different color.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I really hope it's the gold jersey. It's got to be. You got to give the people what they want. It's what we need. So, especially with this year, give us something to be excited about going into this fucking season. Who knows how this is going to go? Yeah, like I said, just got back from the beach. So, I made a deal with my wife. We're going to Vegas in a couple weeks, which we'll get to why in a second. But the deal was basically an incentive that I won't dive into, but I had to lose 16 pounds before we go to Vegas, which is in a couple weeks. We started this like a month ago. I'm down 15 and a half. I'm 200.4 pounds. So I'm so close. It's the ultimate. It's like the easiest way to lose weight ever without having to like shoot yourself up with Ozempic and pat yourself on the back. I've gone down to one meal a day. in between. So I fast for 23 hours and I drink black coffee, which I have right here, and then water. Nothing else for 23 hours. And then I eat whatever the fuck I want. So imagine if I was eating clean for that one meal, but I swear I don't think I could do it if not. But I eat whatever the fuck I want. Yesterday I ate a chicken parm sandwich with fries and then a s'mores cookie. And I weighed myself this morning and I was less weight than I was the day before. My question is, do you think that my nutrition is like fucking terrible? I got back on the athletic greens.
Yeah, that's like when you text me about it, that's what I was trying to get at is like, you want to make sure you're getting enough calories that you're not like in a huge deficit.
I don't think that's a problem. Like I eat a lot.
And you want to make sure you're getting enough protein too. So
that's where it could come into question.
That's where it's like, if your beef is the highest meat and protein.
Yeah.
So that's why when you did the steak thing a little while ago, that's why I was asking, are you eating steak a lot?
Yeah, and so I was doing primarily steak, and I was losing weight, and I felt great. But I wasn't like going hard with it, so I was still eating too much. But so this has not been like a main focus on steak. It's been literally whatever I want. Like it could be Jersey Mike's, it could be fucking whatever I want, Chick-fil-A, anything. So I haven't like cleaned up the eating on this particular diet, I guess you call it that. It's just I'm eating significantly less than what I was. Like it is crazy in hindsight. Like I'd go get a giant sandwich from Jersey Mike's, which is probably like, I don't know, I'm ballparking over 2,000 calories. And then that's lunch. And then I'd go get dinner and we'd eat whatever the hell we wanted for dinner. And then sometimes you get breakfast on a day. So it's like just overeating, I think.
Yeah.
So like by a wide margin. Because we were talking about it, I keep waiting for like, when am I going to hit the wall? And now I'm not losing weight anymore. And it's maybe slowed down a little bit, but it still keeps going. And I'm not, to be quite honest with you, I've been running sparingly and I haven't really been lifting, especially since going to the beach and all of that. Haven't really been doing much. And we went to the beach. I didn't abide by that one meal a day at the beach at all. Like at one point I had a cinnamon roll, 2 cinnamon rolls, like big cinnamon rolls for breakfast, Krispy Kreme donuts, and I knew they were going to suck. Like they got them from like fucking Publix. I'm like, these are going to be so bad. I still ate like 2 of them before lunch. And just like went to town. I was like, fuck it, I don't care. Got back and still like I think I gained like 2 pounds. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if it's going to catch up to me or what, but I'm just like kind of mind blown where I'm like, I was sitting there and it just like clicked. I was like, why don't I just basically eat less? Like we just don't. And I'm like, I could just not eat because there's times where like I could push it and I'm not that hungry, but I'm eating just because it's like dinner time. And I'm like, why don't I just fucking not eat? Just eat less. And it's the easiest way to lose weight. So my only concern now is like after a month in, like my head was kind of hurting last night. I was hungry, but I'm like, I wonder if I'm not getting like enough. Like I wonder if I'm like fucking maybe losing weight, but like in worse health, I guess. So I got back on the athletic greens and we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I mean, I don't feel bad. I feel pretty good and I'm about to get back into running and all of that. But yeah, half pound to go ish. And then I'm cruising in the money there before our trip. And then, but I don't think I'm going to like stop. I'll still like, if we're doing something fun, I'm still going to eat like whatever the fuck I want. But like during the week and shit, it's like so easy. It's really not that hard. So I was talking with Bam about it. Like it seems like a cheat code almost, but I don't know. Did you see Shane Gillis hosted the ESPYs?
Yeah, I didn't watch it live, but I went and rewatched his monologue.
What'd you think?
Oh, I loved it.
I thought it was so funny, dude. And I thought I love it because we'll get to the people that like after the fact want to like, oh my God, blah, 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 like Sarah Spain or whatever the fuck her name is, saying it was awkward and horrible and and just misogynistic. Shut the fuck up. He went in basically behind enemy lines, threw out WNBA jokes in a room full of WNBA players, and like knew what he was getting into and still had the balls to go do it. Like that is not a setting for good comedy. That's a setting for Kevin Hart to get up there and dance. Like that's what that is. So for him to get up there, Shane Gillis basically looking like an ogre, and he does his 2 hands on the mic, like his patented, like Shane Gillis is the best comedian out right now. And I don't think it's close. The WNBA joke he did with Matt McCusker's wife was one of the best fucking, like, just ideas and delivery of jokes in a live setting like that I've ever seen. The Brittany Hicks is the 4-time WNBA champ. Brittany Hicks is here. Everybody give it up. They all clap. Say, I'm just kidding. That's my buddy's wife. I knew y'all didn't watch the WNBA. That was such a good joke, dude. Like, and then he mispronounced Diana Taurasi's name. Did you see that? He called her Deanna Taurasi, and she just put her head down and shook her. Like they're such poor sports. It's almost gross how they like. I don't know if they just take themselves too seriously. He's up there literally the whole time. He's like, lighten up. Like, this is ridiculous. Like he, and that's what he does, the self-deprecating thing mid-set. And he's like, oh, we'll see how this one goes. Like, he, like, preps you for it, and it makes it funnier, like, the awkwardness and all of that. People are just so weird, though. Sarah Spain comes out and writes this article, and the New York Post or whatever posted about it, and she's just saying how I'm getting a phone call, Jesus. Pause. All right, we're back. Yeah, Sarah Spain comes out and starts just basically just completely misses the entire mark. Called the joke about Matt McCusker's wife and the WNBA player, 4-time WNBA champ, called it hacky. To call that joke hacky is crazy, and it just shows how out of touch with anything funny that they are. And then after the fact, I don't know if you saw that because that wasn't in the monologue, but he was like, there is no after party. Like, we ruined after parties. It basically Diddy, and he like pointed to Drewski because there's the rumor of Drewski at the Diddy after parties. He's just so funny, dude. And it's a testament to like how big he is now, because he's been, people that have been in the know have seen Shane Gillis for years and years, like back when he got canceled with SNL. And now he's hosting the ESPYs, and he's just getting bigger and bigger. And Pat McAfee, I guess, probably has a role in that, at least introducing him to the ESPN network. But yeah, I thought it was hilarious. So I didn't watch the ESPYs for a single second, though, other than like his monologue.
Yeah.
So,
well, I realized it was on, and then I was like, oh, I didn't even know he was hosting it. So I knew I missed the part that I would want to see.
Yeah.
So I watched it this morning, but yeah, I thought it made it funnier that everyone else didn't think it was funny.
It does, yeah, because you see, like, they're uncomfortable. And it's like, for what, dude? It's like, y'all are so out of touch. It's crazy. And it does make it funnier. And like, the people that know good comedy and all of that, yeah, it's like they know, like, he's got to stand up there. It's like he's in on the joke, and everybody else that knows good comedy is in on the joke as well, that it's like, this is not the setting for it. You're like, you're behind enemy lines being thrown into the fire. Like, that's part of what makes it funny. So, but yeah, that joke about Matt McCusker's wife was, I mean, an all-time joke. It really was.
I can't believe y'all clapped for that.
Yeah. Dude, it really is. It was so funny. Did you see Nussmeier said he would change his number to 18 if the coaches gave it to him?
No, I did not see that.
He said he would be willing and honored to do it, but he's not going to ask for it, that the coaches give those numbers out. So that's a possibility. What are your thoughts there? It's not like a groundbreaking thing, but it is a big number for LSU.
Yeah, so I would like if he got 18. He was originally number 5, and then he gave 5 to Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, and then he said, though, his dad wore 13 for the Saints. Like, he had always kind of wore 13. So that's where 13 came from, I guess. But that would be cool. It has a – what number was Mock?
Yeah, he was the last quarterback that wore 18.
Was he the first one to wear it? I don't know. Or at least like that.
I'm pretty sure that the tradition of 18 started with Matt Mock.
And then Hester and then down the line. Yeah. Yeah, I think that would be cool. And I'm all for it. It's not like a groundbreaking thing. I just thought it was interesting. I saw the clip right before we started going. I think that would be a cool number change. Does Perkins still has a 7?
I imagine so.
Are they doing the didn't he have it last year? And then they gave Will Campbell the 7 patch. Mm-hmm. Are they doing 2?
Yeah, they might give 7 to Barian Brown. I don't know exactly.
Stop. Did they say that?
No, but I imagine it's going to go to, like, there's usually one on offense and one on defense, I guess, now. So
yeah, Barry Brown was number 7 at Kentucky, so that'd be sick. But you got to, I don't know, though. And I think Barry Brown's going to light it up. But you got to earn it. I don't think you come in as a transfer. We can't be given 7 to transfers. I feel like I got to, or at least 1 year transfers, you know? I feel like that precedent should be set. You can't just hand it out because he might not even be the best wide receiver on the team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A lot of people have high hopes for Nick Anderson. So just because his number was 7, it's like, I don't know. We'll see. That's really all I got other than diving into the breakdown. So this is going to be a big, big year. Like I said, we're excited every single year, but this year more than any. We are going to Vegas in a couple weeks. We're going to go enter into the Circa Millions contest, which is the biggest guaranteed money NFL pick'em contest that you can find. You got to enter in person. We're going to have to use a proxy service to get our picks in, but it's $1 million payout to first place. If you get first place quarterly, you get $250,000. So 4 different opportunities there. 5 NFL games per week. You get 1 point for a correct pick. You get a half point for a push, no points for a loss. And then at the end, the winner is going to get a guaranteed $1 million. So we're excited. I'm extremely excited. Just for the Vegas trip alone, but also entering into this contest, it's going to add a whole new dynamic to the upcoming season. I've been pretty vocal about the fact that I kind of always preferred college football. I think we both do. But it's going to definitely put more emphasis on the NFL this year. I think we'll have to navigate how we go about, because we record on Tuesdays. We don't have to put our picks in for this contest until later on. Obviously, we'll have an idea. I think the lines, it's like, it's stale lines, but you can't place them until Friday, maybe Thursday. And then you have until, I think, Saturday night. So I don't want it to cloud, like, the betting side, and then, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we'll have to figure out and find a good rhythm there. But yeah, we want everybody to come along for the ride. And if you got a winner and you know it's a winner, you can throw it our way. And then and if it wins, we'll give you a hearty thank you. But yeah, 5 picks a week. And I'm a dreamer. I've always said it. I think, and to be quite honest with you, I know we're capable of winning the contest. You got to have a lot of luck on your side. Anybody who's won a contest and told you they didn't get lucky is lying. You have to have a lot of luck on your side. That's obvious. But we've had years in the past, Nick specifically, where the win percentage would have probably been enough to be in the mix and make things interesting. We know football. It's our specialty. I'm excited. I think we have a legitimate shot. I wouldn't enter in if I didn't think so. But it could be a contest of 20 million people, and this is going to be nowhere near that many. It could be 20 million, and I'd be like, I think we have a legitimate shot. So, yeah, I'm ready to go. I really am. And also, sidebar, full circle moment. I'm not going to say the hotel for no reason other than whatever. The hotel we're staying at is the hotel that, or the casino and sportsbook that I placed the first ever sports bet, that ticket right there, the Saints Super Bowl bet. So going back to where it all started, you can make an argument that could have been what sparked the start of this show. First ever sports bet. If you ask me, it was a good bet, but it was not a winner, the Minnesota Miracle year. But yeah, going back to where it all started, and I don't know. I'm ready to go. I really am. It's now right around the corner. What are your thoughts? I mean, am I wrong thinking we have a legitimate shot?
No, I don't think so. But I also think you're right where, you got to catch luck, especially in the NFL.
Yeah.
Because
it's
it could be a unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. Yeah. That goes for you or against you, and that you end up covering a spread, or a holding penalty that stalls one drive. So the NFL, unlike college football, penalties and little things matter way more.
Oh, yeah.
So that's where the luck comes into it.
Yeah, and it's gambling in general. Even if you're not in a contest, you got to get lucky. You got to have fortune on your side for sure. But I mean, I think the results have been there in the past, that if we can kind of get luck on our side and be on the right side of picking games, get some early Thursday momentum like we do every single year. At least that type of like, you can just diagnose spots, I feel, where it makes sense. And I don't know. I'm kind of rambling, I guess. But, yeah, I don't know fully what to expect, but I don't think it's going to be anything groundbreaking. I think it's going to be a lot of what we know, and it's going to add a whole new dynamic to this season for sure. I just picture myself going back to get the money. Like, even if it's a quarter, even if it's only getting first place of a quarter and you get a $250,000, I see myself and us winning the money. And I feel like if you don't, what are you entering for? So
yeah,
it's like I would have that conversation with Bam where he's like, yeah, I only want to lose this amount. I'm like, I'm going to win. When we go to the casino, I'm not going in like, I'll lose $400, $500. It's like, no, I'm going to win. And then when I lose, I'm like, fuck. But when I walk in those doors, I'm not like, they're taking my money. It's like, I am fucking taking them for everything they got. So, and that's how I feel about this contest. But yeah, like I said, it will add an entirely new dynamic. We want everybody to come along for the ride. And if you've got a winner, throw it our way. And we'll see what we can do. So, that's really, like I said, that's all I got before we dive in. So you want to get to it?
Yep.
All right, we'll start it from the top down. The Chiefs obviously won the AFC, lost to the Eagles in the Super Bowl. Their 2025 win total sits at 11.5. They went 15-2 in the 2024 regular season. It was a season filled with fortunate bounces, starting with Week 1 against the Ravens with Isaiah Likely's toe just barely out of bounds, where it looked like the Ravens were going to tie the game. They had 5 other wins by 3 points or less, plus an overtime win against the Buccaneers. They had the win against the Bengals, where there was the pass interference that got them in a field goal range to win by 1 point. The offense became far less dynamic once Rashee Rice got hurt. And then Rashee Rice also has the looming legal case that actually today, I believe, got expedited. And he got 5 years of probation. Off the top of my head, I could be wrong. I think he has to serve 30 days of jail time somewhere in that 5-year span, which seems crazy. But this means that now that a decision has been made, the NFL can now come down with their discipline. So you would imagine Rashee Rice is probably going to get a minimum of a 4-game suspension. I could be wrong. I would imagine it's at least 4. But the fact that typically they always wait for the legal proceedings to play out, and the fact that it has today means, like on my sheet here, because I wrote this down a few days ago, I expected them to have Rashee Rice for the duration of this season, or at least his initial court date was set January 20th, 2026, which was right around the AFC Championship. But if nothing was going to come from then I expected him basically to be a full go for this whole season. So now that it's come out, now I kind of changed course there, and I think that he's going to probably get hit with at least a 4-game suspension. But once Rashee Rice got hurt, Patrick Mahomes took him out, decimated my fantasy football team. Their offense became far less dynamic than what it was. Let's see. Health-wise going into the year, though, it sounds like, from what people are saying, is that they think he's going to be full strength, which seems kind of crazy because he got his leg jacked up, but it was early in the year last year. Travis Kelce, another year older. He's going to struggle to maintain top production for a full season, which is what we've seen for the last couple years. But Hollywood Brown will be healthy after missing the majority of last season. Defense is going to look more of the same. From what we're familiar with. They added Christian Fulton. He comes in from the Chargers. Offensively, I just don't really know where the pop comes from outside of Mahomes' magic. They haven't done – there hasn't been a substantial upgrade. And then with Rashee Rice, with the suspension looming, I said it after the Super Bowl. I'll say it again. I think we enter into a couple down years for Kansas City. Down year is like 11 wins. So that – they've been in the AFC Championship since Mahomes has been in the NFL. What are your thoughts on Kansas City going into 2025? And do you think I'm off base with the offense? But my point being, Pacheco at running back. I think Pacheco kind of burst on the scene, but I don't know that he's I think he is who he is. I don't think he's
Yeah.
going to hit some extra gear. The wide receivers don't instill fear in me. And then with Travis Kelce getting another year older, what are your thoughts with the Chiefs? And like I said, do you think I'm off base with the offense there?
No, I don't think so. I mean, you just look at them last year. They made the Super Bowl. They were 15-2, but just watching them, they didn't seem like they were that good.
No.
You know, they really struggled to run the ball last year. And then, like you said, when Rice went down and Hollywood Brown was also absent for most of the year, they didn't really have the receiving threats to go to. And Kelsey's just not the player that he once was.
No, they got like just DeAndre Hopkins, but it's like same thing. Older, aging. It's like they don't have the guy. And that was going into the Super Bowl. I was like, hey, I didn't want to get burned again, like going against Mahomes. But you're looking at the Eagles. I'm like, this defense, I just don't see how they score. Like I didn't. And so I don't know how it gets better this year, you know?
Yeah, it just seems like Mahomes. It just seems like he's rarely on time with anything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, and it seems like the magic that he had earlier in his career is kind of running low now.
Well, it was nice because you had a Travis Kelce in his prime, but then you also had a Tyreek Hill that like you could throw when shit's breaking down and he's coming back to the ball, he makes one guy miss and he's gone. So, yeah, if you say like not on time, meaning like it turns into him scrambling and trying to make something happen.
That's where most of their production comes from is like him improvising. But it just seems like, I don't know, if I was him or if I was Andy Reid, I would be putting an emphasis of trying to be more on time with getting the ball away and getting it to players.
I think they need to try to figure out a way to establish the run game too, and I just don't think you're going to be able to do it with Pacheco. Not to the point that it instills fear in me and like, okay, they're a more balanced offense now. Like they went and got Clyde, same thing. Like love Clyde, don't get me wrong, but they haven't had like since Kareem Hunt, they haven't had that bruising running back. And I understand they went and got Kareem Hunt back and this and that, but it's like I think we're entering into he's like following the Tom Brady arc where he won a lot in the beginning, and then we're going to see some years where he's still very good. And he's a top-tier quarterback, but the team around him now is not as good. And you're going to see them kind of have to go through a bit of a reload. And the good news is for them is that the most important position is held down by a top-3 guy in the league. So,
yeah, I think, though, when Rice is back, I mean, I like the receiving options with Hollywood Brown and Xavier Worthy. It'll be interesting to see if Xavier Worthy progresses.
yeah, he's got to take a step.
They just like Sky Moore's never going to be anything, right? And then, but I will say they drafted Jalen Royals out of Utah State. He was Utah State's best player. Drafted him in the 4th round.
Yeah, that's a sneaky one.
That'll be interesting to see how he does in the preseason.
Yeah, that's a sneaky one because, I mean, I remember you liked him more than me, but I remembered Rashee Rice coming out.
Yeah.
Like, from SMU, and it was like, this dude's fucking good. Like, he's just not at a top program. He's not at an Alabama or something or Georgia to where like everyone knows his name, but we knew he was going to be good. Yeah, Royals could be a threat from day one. So, but he might not be as well.
Yeah,
so
it's always tricky with rookies and receivers, especially.
Yeah, I wouldn't hitch my whack. Like he could have a Keon Coleman rookie season.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of where I stand with the Chiefs. Like I said, a down year for them. They're going to win. They're still going to win double-digit games. Like
Yeah, it just felt like last year was a down year, and they were 15-2 and went to the Super Bowl. So their division's tough. So
and it's getting better.
Yeah,
Bo Nix ahead of schedule, and the Broncos coming along way sooner than everybody thought. Chargers improving, things like that. So, all right, next in line, you've got the Buffalo Bills. 2025 win total sits at 11.5, shaded -160. A decent bit of juice to the over, +135 to the under. The Bills went 13-4 last year behind an MVP season from Josh Allen. Offensively, it's more of the same, but they did add Josh Palmer from the Chargers, who I think could be a solid 3rd, 4th option to the receiving core. Defensively, the moves come in the form of adding depth to the D-line. Larry Ogunjobi, Michael Hoyt, along with 3 draft picks on the D-line. The big name move was getting Joey Bosa, who's battling a calf strain, but he should be good to go for the start of the year. Bosa's dealt with injuries for years now. 6 sacks in 2024, 6.5 in 2023. Only played 9 games that year. Only played 5 regular season games in 2022. He's not going to be a cornerstone guy getting you 15 sacks or double-digit plus sacks, but he doesn't need to be. He just needs to be a guy who can set the edge, get after the quarterback on third down, and kind of turn into what Von Miller did, maybe just a younger, slightly more productive Von Miller than where he is at his point in his career. And I could be wrong. Maybe Joey Bosa does get healthy and get back to that form that we saw. It just seems like it fizzled out to where he's just not that guy that he was for a short period of time and felt like he could have been. It's hard not to like, in my opinion, what Buffalo is doing because I think they addressed some needs of added depth in what they needed. And then so they also added Elijah Moore and Laviska Shenault. And those aren't big-name guys. That's not top-tier caliber wide receivers. But if you look at what Curtis Samuel did for this team in the postseason, that's the same caliber of guy, in my opinion. Maybe that's a little disrespectful to Curtis Samuel, but similar enough. So you add that, you have them, and you add in Josh Palmer. They have enough of these like okay wide receivers. You throw them in with a superstar in Khalil Shakir, a possible good wide receiver with Keon Coleman. And I'm joking, obviously. I do think Keon Coleman's going to be good, but a good tight end. It's like Josh Allen. The way their style of play with him being able to run, but then also leaning on James Cook. I do kind of like the additions at wide receiver. It's just not like a home run off-season move where it's like getting you a lot of notoriety, I guess. But what are your thoughts with Buffalo and their expectations?
Yeah, I mean, they exceeded my expectations last year, especially the defense was better than I expected they were going to be.
Yeah.
Offensively, Josh Allen was able to get it done with not a star-studded supporting cast, you know?
Yeah.
So you kind of look at the players that contributed last year, James Cook, Khalil Shakir, Ray Davis as a rookie. I thought he had a pretty good rookie season. And then I think Josh Palmer could be an upgrade to Mac Hollis. So they lose Mac Hollis. Where did he go?
I don't know.
He went to another AFC team because we'll get to him.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think Josh Palmer, last year the Chargers offense wasn't really they weren't throwing like they were when Brandon Staley was the coach, right? Mm-hmm. So they kind of went more to a run-heavy game. And I think that's why Josh Palmer had somewhat of a down year. But when you go back to when, you know, Herbert was having to throw the ball 50 times a game, Josh Palmer was a big part of that. So
yeah,
I think offensively the Bills could be better than they were last year. Keon Coleman in an interview was like, he basically said he played like shit last year, and it's not to, I guess, the standard that he holds himself to. So we'll see how he progresses.
Yeah.
They draft a cornerback in the first round, Maxwell Hairston. And then Trey White comes back.
Yeah. I love Benford.
Yeah.
I think I think he has the potential to be a really good corner, good size, all of that. He was the one dealing with injuries down the stretch. But I don't hate the defense. I think it was the question mark coming in, rightfully so, but it sneaky kind of took shape or came into form at the right time last year. But like I said, adding that depth, it was the D-line, but they have guys. Who is it? Oliver, and then what's the other one? It's Ed Oliver. Wait, I got it right here. I'm fucking dumb. Ed Oliver. Wait, no. Who am I missing? Oh, I fucking pulled up the next one. You got the Bills?
Yeah.
Who's on the D-line?
Greg Rousseau. That's
who I'm forgetting. Yeah, but Ed Oliver's a beast.
Yeah.
And then if you can add Bosa and he can kind of they still got Epinesa. They have quality guys on that defense. It was just you needed depth on the D-line, and then just to rotate guys. The Saints were great at that in our run that we had. You had a bunch of people that we knew that nobody else really knew that would come in, and then they go get paid from other teams. So you had a lot of like nose tackles that would come rotate in that you got to have that depth on the D-line or else you're going to get worn down. So I think they did a decent job. I think going to get Ogunjobi's a good addition. So
yeah, they were middle of the pack in total defense, and scoring defense they ranked 11th, so above average there.
Yeah.
Where they really excelled was forcing turnovers. They were third in the NFL in forcing turnovers, and they had the number 1 turnover differential in the NFL. They never lost a turnover battle all season last year.
Yeah, there's some fortune that goes into that as well. You'd typically expect a little bit of regression in that category, in my opinion. Just because fumbles, means one took a good bounce their way when it could have went the other way. And it doesn't mean that they're not going to be forcing as many turnovers, or it's like you got to get fortunate bounces as well. There could be tip balls in there as well. So you always just, in my opinion, just expect a little bit of regression from the teams that led the pack. So, but yeah, that's pretty much all I got on Buffalo. Do you got anything more?
Nope.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, from judging by the sentiment there, a little down on the Chiefs. I think Buffalo's in a good spot. Let's see. Okay, the Ravens, 11.5 for their win total as well. The Ravens went 12-5 in 2024, but came up short in the postseason yet again. 27-25 loss to Buffalo. Turnovers were the difference. 2 careless turnovers from Lamar. It begs the question: is he going to be able to get it done in the postseason ever? And that's a legitimate question for you. Do you think Lamar Jackson will ever get it done in the postseason?
I don't know.
Because he's taken those steps. He's taken those steps in the right direction. And then there was the year 2 years ago where Zay Flowers, if he doesn't fumble on the goal line, I had a futures bet on the Ravens. I remember it well. I bought a Lamar Jackson jersey. Last year I had a futures bet on the Buffalo Bills. Keep getting goddamn steamrolled by the Chiefs. Not going to happen this year, though. But so Lamar is come a long way from, I remember Vrabel with the Tennessee Titans dog walking him, and he turned it over like 4 times in the first half, and it was a brutal game. But you go into Buffalo, you throw that horrible interception down the right sideline, and then you fumble it carelessly, holding the ball like a loaf of bread at midfield. Those were the difference in the game. So that's the question I have: is Lamar Jackson ever going to be able to get it done? I will say, I love what they did in the draft. I think Malachi Starks is another great safety, like what they did with Kyle Hamilton, plucking him from Notre Dame and immediately putting him into play. I think you can do the same thing with Malachi Starks. Clearly best safety in the draft, in my opinion. I think he's going to step in and play day one. Then they got 2 LSU O linemen for added depth, Emory Jones Jr. and Garrett Dellinger. Also went and got LeJontay Wester, who, if you listen to us, I was screaming that I thought LeJontay Wester was the best wide receiver at Colorado. And that's over Travis Hunter, who won the Heisman Trophy, clearly. They also bring in DeAndre Hopkins, an aging guy, but probably a good locker room guy, and maybe in spurts can just throw in there for depth and still gotta have good hands, I'd imagine. But most recently, the biggest move they made was they went out and got cornerback Jair Alexander from the Packers. The Ravens are the Super Bowl favorite. I think rightfully so. As I've said, I think we see a bit of regression from Kansas City. I think the doors is as open as it's ever been for the AFC, at least in the last 5+ years. Do you think the Ravens should be the betting favorite for the Super Bowl?
I would probably say no. I'm not in love with their wide receiver room, you know. I think Bateman and Flowers are okay. I think
Andrews is getting older.
Yeah, and then Isaiah likely kind of faded there at the second half of the season.
Yeah. I do like Likely, though. I think I agree. The production came back down to earth a little bit. Not that he was going crazy, but he wasn't as much of a factor. So
I do think, though, I do like LeJontay Wester. They got him in the 6th round. I think that's kind of a steal. It'll be interesting to see in the preseason if Tez Walker can find his way or find a role on this team.
Yeah.
rookie season didn't get much playing time, probably was inactive for a majority of the games. But I don't know. I don't know if what Hopkins has left. You know, when the Chiefs got him, I expected him to do a little bit more over there, but he really wasn't able to with the best quarterback in the league. So I don't know about him.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect anything other than maybe around the red zone. He caught a touchdown in the Super Bowl, didn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, like 10 yards in the red zone, and he can run a good route. He's just not going to be able to give you. He's just too old now. He's not going to be the DeAndre Hopkins of old. But I think they can still use him in certain spots. But yeah, I mean, there's no. I think the ship has sailed on Rashad Bateman. They drafted him in the first round. He's not going to be a superstar guy. He's not ever going to be a number one wide receiver. I think that's been pretty clear. Zay Flowers as well. They also drafted him in the first round. So they've been trying to go out and get first-round wide receivers for Lamar. He would be a great slot, like, number 2 guy. But they need him to be the number 1. So I agree with you there. Still with the style of offense with Derrick Henry, also aging. But Derrick Henry and Lamar's ability to scramble as well. I know they tried to put more of an emphasis this past season on him running more, and he lost weight, and he was trying to get back to scrambling and being more dynamic, which I think we saw. Do they keep that up again? You do have to worry about health and the longevity playing that style. But they're still able to – I think they have a good running back room, but I think that rightfully so they should be at the top of the pack in terms of Super Bowl odds. Is there a team that we already mentioned that you think should be the favorite above them, or is it in the NFC?
I don't know. I would say the Bills maybe should be favored above them.
I think it was very close, and that's why I say like at the top of the pack. So, I think it was very close if I remember correctly. But yeah, so same thing, 11.5.
Okay, yeah, they're the same odds. Or on DraftKings, the Eagles, the Ravens, and the Bills are the same odds.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That's all we got for the Ravens?
Yep.
Okay. On to the Houston Texans. Win total sits at 9.5. Shaded -130 to the under, +110 to the over. I think we both expected to see some regression from Stroud in year 2. I would say we saw that. He had 400 less yards, 20 touchdowns. He had 23 the year before, but he had 12 interceptions, more than double what he had his rookie season. He only had 5. The offensive line for Houston was a big issue, as was offensive coordinator Bobby Slowick's play calling, if you ask Texans fans. Nick Caley's going to replace Slowick. He's part of the illustrious McVay tree. He was, I believe, the passing game coordinator for the Rams. So he comes over, takes over for Bobby Slowick. They also brought in left tackle Cam Robinson, left guard Laken Tomlinson to try to shore up the porous offensive line. Neither one of I think those are good depth guys, but I think they need them to kind of step in and start. So I don't know how I necessarily feel about that. Pro Football Focus didn't have either one of them grading out very well. Nico Collins is a star when healthy, but Stephon Diggs is gone and Tank Dell suffered a gruesome leg injury. They brought in Christian Kirk from Jacksonville. They drafted both Iowa State wide receivers, Jaden Higgins and Jalen Noel. Also 3 more offensive linemen brought in, Jake Andrews, Ed Ingram, and Trent Brown. Nick Chubb comes over from Cleveland. Obviously, he was coming back from the knee injury as well. He's going to back up Joe Mixon, but that's an interesting dynamic. I don't think we'll ever see Nick Chubb get back to what he was. But the guy is an athletic freak, and he puts in a lot of work in the weight room. So that could be an interesting 1-2 punch. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson is going to be the lone new face on the defense. It'll be interesting to see how DeMeco Ryans uses him. I think that they could use him in different ways, and DeMeco Ryans is very creative on the defensive side of the ball. So I think there's some things to be excited about with the Texans here, but I don't know that these moves are going to clean up glaring offensive line issues, but a different system will probably be good because it didn't seem like what they were doing last year was working. What are your thoughts on the Texans? Do you think we see C.J. Stroud get back to a little bit more of the form we saw his rookie season, or do you think we get a little bit of what we saw in the sophomore campaign? And then offensive line, do you agree with what my thoughts are there?
Yeah, they were terrible, and that's why Stroud didn't have as good of a year as he did when he was a rookie. He turned it over a lot last year. The Texans weren't good, but they made the playoffs. They won their division. They also won a playoff game. So
all-time live bet that we had. What was it? It was the second half under.
Yeah, something crazy.
It was something like that, yeah. But it was spur of the moment, big bet, and it hit easily, I think. But go ahead, sorry.
But where was I? I was
my bad.
The O-line, yeah, they were bad. But it felt like last year the Texans, it was a down year for them. But at the same time, I just mentioned it, they won a playoff game and they won their division. And this is one of the divisions that aren't good. The AFC South is bad and the NFC South is bad. So, I don't know. Just looking at their division, it's like I don't really know if I can believe in Jacksonville anymore.
Yeah.
And the Colts have a quarterback issue. I think, if Daniel Jones wins the job, that's not a good sign.
Yeah, so they put out report today that Anthony Richardson is expected to be okay from the like they think he's going to be fine for the start of camp and all of that with the shoulder, or I say start of camp, whatever. He's expected to be fine from the offseason shoulder surgery that he had. So will that make him better throwing? No, but
yeah, you mentioned it. Getting Chubb and then drafting the 2 Iowa State receivers. I love them both. And then Nico Collins, obviously, is a stud, a top 5 wide receiver in the NFL.
Have you heard anything about Tank Dell? There's no way
he's not playing this year.
Okay, I was gonna say,
Yeah.
that was one of the most gruesome injuries I've ever seen.
Yeah,
and that was like super just sad to watch. But I'm looking at like the depth charts and I'm like, there's no fucking way. Like you could have told me he lost his leg, and I would have said that's more likely than him playing this season.
Yeah, so they're going to need one or both of the rookies they drafted in the second and third round to contribute right away.
And Mechie's fine, healthy?
Yeah, he just
not panning out.
Really, his last season at Alabama was kind of a downfall, and then
yeah, obviously he got the non-Hodgkin's lymphoma? Could have been something else.
Yeah, some type of cancer.
But he was able to beat it, and he's back. But if he could turn into a good quality depth piece, like they have decent. Like you said, you like both of the rookies. I like the rookies from Iowa State too. I think they could be good. I think it's funny they got both of them. But Nico Collins is a star when healthy. We saw it. He just was battling the hamstring injury for a lot of last season. But they also went and got on the I said only new face. I meant in the starting lineup is expected to be Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, but they got Sheldon Rankins as some added depth on the D line, who obviously I like Sheldon Rankins. I'm sure you do as well from his time with the Saints. Never forget him not strip sacking, but knocking the ball out from Juju Smith-Schuster against the Steelers. I was there in person. He was a good player, a quality player. And they got a lot of other people too, and from backup roles and a lot of moves at linebacker, which I think just in general, though, they put a lot of stock into the defense with Will Anderson, and they went and got Daniil Hunter, and then obviously everybody remembers Al-Shaair Aziz, but Derek Stingley Jr., in my opinion, I think is the best cornerback in the NFL. So what are your thoughts there, just on a sidebar? Do you agree, disagree?
Yeah, I definitely agree.
Especially what he did down the stretch last season?
Yeah, so their defense, top 5 total defense, 4th in sacks. So that's the strength of their team. They're going to have these guys they got on the left side of the offensive line, Cam Robinson and Lincoln Tomlinson. Both of these guys are going to have to probably perform above expectations for them to be a top team, But I think you just look at last year, how could the offensive line get any worse? I don't think it can. It was one of the worst offensive lines I've ever seen. And like I said when we started breaking down the Texans, they won a playoff game.
Yeah, no, definitely. No, C.J. Stroud's a good player too. We expected a little bit of a sophomore slump. You see it more often than not, or you see it a lot. So I think we see him get back to a little bit more of that rookie season form. But yeah, I don't know a ton about Nick Caley's system and all of that. Like sometimes the system can kind of protect you from a poor offensive line. So I don't know what he's going to implement and things like that. So we'll see. And then, yeah, I think a lot of times, too, just like a system can protect you from a poor offensive line, a lot of times a wrong system can make the offensive line look worse.
Yeah.
So we'll see what he does there. Clearly, they felt like they needed to move on from Bobby Slowick, and they did. And you would have to imagine that there's going to be an upgrade on the offensive side of the ball, or else they wouldn't have moved on from him. So we'll see, though. We'll see how it plays out. All right, the team they beat in the postseason, the Chargers. They're sitting at 9.5 for their expected win total. Minus 120 to the under. Even money if you like the over. Coaching changes, none that I could really tell. I completely changed the format of my notes once I hit the Texans. So, Minter was the DC last year, right? Roman was the OC, and obviously Harbaugh's back at head coach. Off-season moves. They went and got Mekhi Becton, right tackle from the Eagles. They brought back Mike Williams, a wide receiver, for a little added depth at the position there. I don't know. Mike Williams had that start to one season, but has never really panned out from who we thought he could be coming out of Clemson. Draft picks, so they went and got Amari and Hampton. Some would argue the best running back. The people that try to be too cute will say that he's the best running back in the draft class, and everybody will find out. Don't think so. But the system he's in, I think, could be good for him. I think Amari and Hampton's going to be a guy from day one that's going to be productive. Trey Harris, wide receiver out of Ole Miss, not signed currently because we're in that little stalemate with the second-round draft picks, and the majority of them are not signed, but somebody just agreed to a deal that they think is going to be kind of the first domino to fall, that you're going to see a lot of the second-round draft picks start to sign. But so as far as I can tell, currently Trey Harris has not signed his deal, but you expect him to. Kyle Kennard, they went and got him from South Carolina. I like the Chargers addressing the offensive line. I really like Hampton at running back. Skill position upgrade with Trey Harris. If he can step in and be – I don't know if he's got the quickness. I could be wrong there. But Ladd McConkey's obviously he's going to be a good wide receiver for quite a while. Quentin Johnston, I mean, he can't catch, so that's a problem when you play wide receiver. They also went and got Najee Harris. So I don't hate the moves that the Chargers made. I don't have a huge opinion on them, though. So what are your thoughts on the Chargers going into 2025? I felt like they looked maybe a little ahead of schedule, better than we thought.
Yeah.
Right off the bat with Harbaugh.
Yeah, I thought this was going to be the year they made noise, but they made noise in the first year. So I like Trey Harris as a second-round draft pick, and I love Amari and Hampton at running back. So I see an upgrade at both of those positions, and then
I like
the backup to have Najee Harris as the backup.
I was just about to say, I like the acquisition of Najee Harris too. I think, dude, that Pittsburgh offense has fucking been bad for a long time. So ever since Le'Veon Bell, Big Ben, and Antonio Brown, that offense has been dog shit since then. So I think Najee Harris is better than the sentiment around him. I think if he can get in a position to where he can have a little more space to operate, Najee Harris can be a good running back. I would say an above-average running back. Amari and Hampton is a rookie with superstar potential. So if you can get a 1-2 punch that, like what on paper, what I think this could be, that's going to make life much easier for Justin Herbert.
Yeah. Defense, they lost Christian Fulton and Joey Bosa. We talked about it earlier when we broke down the Bills.
They did a little swap.
They try to replace Bosa with Deshaun Hand from Miami and Dante Jackson from Pittsburgh.
Yeah. So who Christian Fulton went to the Chiefs, though. Yeah, so Dante Jackson, LSU, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Christian Fulton also LSU. But
yeah.
I don't think it's like a huge downgrade. I could be wrong.
No, I think it's interesting. Dante Jackson's really fast, and he's a decent cornerback. But I wouldn't put Christian Fulton as like way better than him.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, the defense, it's like, where are the superstars? Khalil Mack's old. Derwin James, great player. But outside of Derwin James in the secondary, it gets a little spotty. you know? What are your I mean, do you have anything more on the Chargers in terms of, do you think, let me frame it this way, better or worse than last year?
So they were 11-6 last year.
Ahead of schedule, we both agree. You thought this year was going to be the year they took that step, maybe a little growing pains with Harbaugh first year, but we didn't really see it. It was above expectations first year. I think everybody should agree on that. So this year, though, what do you think? It was McConkey's rookie season, too.
Yeah.
So he's going to be a little more comfortable as well. He quickly became the number one option. Quentin Johnson, I've given up hope on. He can't fucking catch. If Trey Harris could be – my whole thing with Trey Harris is I think I'm bad at, like, breaking down wide receivers, to be quite honest with you. Like, we talked about it infamously. I said I didn't know how Justin Jefferson would translate to the NFL. That was fucking so dumb. I do this like every year when college football is getting close. I go back and you can watch the like the expedited highlights of LSU season. So I go like game by game. I watch it. It just gets you going. And I'm just watching Justin Jefferson. I'm like, what was I looking at? I'm like, yeah, I don't know this guy. It's like he was smaller frame. I think I was just so sold on like still in that older mode of like Calvin Johnson, Andre Johnson, like the bigger body guys that you can throw the ball up to. Des Bryant. Like, I don't know. I think the game has evolved where it's like you don't need to be that guy anymore to be a top-tier wide receiver. But I think back then, I must have just been looking at –
It's because Jamar Chase was on that team.
Yeah, of course, but you go back and watch.
But he kind of stole Justin Jefferson's shine a little bit.
He did.
But he wasn't draft eligible for that season.
Yeah.
And what I thought I saw was that they weren't that far apart.
Yeah. Jamar Chase is just a specimen where he's got the size and the speed. So Justin Jefferson's smaller, but dude, the hands though are just
great body positioning,
Yes.
great. I mean, route running. I mean, the guy. It's still crazy to me in the NFL how open he is sometimes.
Oh,
I'm like, what?
No, it is crazy.
I will put 3 people on him.
They're the 2 best wide receivers in the league.
Yeah.
And I think there's a gap past that. Obviously, I'm biased, but it's like you look at what Jamar Chase just did last season, but Justin Jefferson, dude, it's like it's more impressive because I do think he's undersized, and I think he doesn't blow you away with speed. It's just the technique is perfect, and his ability to attack the ball and control his body while in midair is the best. So, but yeah, I just think it's funny. I go back and so that's where I'm like almost gun shy, where I'm like, am I misreading Trey Harris? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know if like the quickness is there to get separation and all of that. Kind of what I felt like with Keon Coleman, but I could be completely wrong with like. I do think he's a good wide receiver. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that, but yeah. So I guess better or worse than last year for the Chargers.
Oh, it's tough. I think they have a better running back now and definitely a better backup. So. I don't know. It's kind of dependent on what the Chiefs do. And, the Broncos are also in this division. All 3 teams were playoff teams last year. So I think that's probably why you see the win total. It's at the same as Denver, right?
Yeah.
And probably because they all have to play each other so much.
Yep. Yeah, I'd agree with that.
So I don't know. It's 9.5. They won 11. I mean, if I thought they were going to be better, I'd bet the over. I'm not.
Yeah, but when I say better, I don't necessarily mean more wins. Like you said, it's a tough division, so they could have less wins but be a better team.
I'd be surprised if the Chargers didn't make the playoffs this year.
Yeah. Okay. Alrighty, let's see. We move on to the Pittsburgh Steelers. 2025 win total is 8.5. Slightly shaded to the under -125, plus 105 if you like the over. Mike Tomlin and the Steelers went out and made some moves in the offseason, and I'm talking big moves if this was 5 years ago. They went and got Aaron Rodgers. DK Metcalf comes in at wide receiver. Jalen Ramsey comes in at cornerback. Darius Slay comes in at cornerback. Those are the 4 biggest moves of the offseason. They also got Juan Thornhill from the Browns, who was previously with the Chiefs at safety. Like I said, this would have been an incredible offseason 5 years ago. Jalen Ramsey's bounced around teams last few years. Still a good cornerback. Darius Slay is one of those getting older. Philly let him go for a reason. Aaron Rodgers coming off just a bad season with the Jets, and before that coming off the Achilles injury. I really don't know what to think with Pittsburgh. I think it's going to be I don't feel confident either way. I would probably lean under. What are your thoughts with the Steelers? Do you think Aaron Rodgers can make some magic with this cast?
I think he's going to be better than last year. The Jets' whole organization is in deep trouble, right?
That was bad. I mean,
the whole team, though, the year before he got injured in the first game, and then the defense was really good. They didn't have a good quarterback. Then
defense wasn't as good last year.
It wasn't nearly.
Yeah.
It wasn't. They had the same guys, but they weren't the same players.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I remember Rodgers had a down year in Green Bay, and then the next year he won the MVP. I'm not saying he's going to do that, but
yeah, but he's old as shit now, coming off the Achilles, so he's not as mobile as he used to be.
Yeah, and the Jets' offensive line wasn't very good. I mean, just thinking about the Steelers last year, they were a playoff team, and they had Russell Wilson at quarterback, Justin Fields at quarterback. I think Rodgers is still better than both of those guys.
Yeah, I'd agree. I would agree with that. And Mike Tomlin, look, but that's the thing, though. So now you've got Mike Tomlin's always been very good at juggling the egos and all of that, but it was people that they drafted and people that were in the system basically from day one. Now you've got all these guys coming in, and it's a whole new slew of, Aaron Rodgers has become a very polarizing figure these last few years for reasons that don't pertain to football. You have him coming in at the end of his career with an ayahuasca addiction and trying to have some last-minute magic on his way out the door. DK Metcalf, I would say, got to be in the prime of his career. What is he, 4 years, 5 years in? Maybe a little more, actually.
Let's see how old he is. 27.
27. So, yeah, I would call that the prime of his career. What year did he get drafted?
He has 7 years experience.
God damn, dude. It flies by. That's when they're like Burrow's going into his 6th or 7th year or some shit. I think it's his 6th year. God damn. It flies by. It really does. They went and got Jonnu Smith at tight end. I like that addition, too. Freiermuth's a solid tight end, but Jonnu Smith had a good year last year. It's going to come down to, is Aaron Rodgers able to get back to somewhat of the Aaron Rodgers we expected to see in New York and didn't. So, but I do think this is more hype than substance, you know?
Yeah.
So that's really all I got on Pittsburgh. I don't have much. I'm interested to see it. It's like the moves they made on defense, though. Like I said, I feel like those were bigger moves 5 years ago. Those are aging corners now. If you lose a step, it becomes a lot harder. So, and Darius Slay was showing some holes in the game for the last couple years now. I understand the Eagles just won the Super Bowl with a great defense, but they let him go for a reason.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I guess they're going to play Ramsey in an unordinary role, depending on, because Joey Porter Jr. is very young, a very good cornerback, and then Darius Slay at the other cornerback. I wonder if Ramsey doesn't cover the slot more and play a little bit more of a hybrid role.
Yeah.
Their defense was okay last year. I think they were outside of the top 10 in most statistical categories. They were inside the top 10, though, in scoring defense and in sacks. So
I think they just made
it just wasn't the defense that
we're used to.
Yeah. They weren't a top 5 defense last year.
They basically, you could mark them down as a guarantee they would be. I think they just made T.J. Watt the highest paid defensive player in the league. I really like Nick Herbig, and they've obviously Patrick Queen and Alex Highsmith. They have good guys in that linebacker unit and pass rushing. So the secondary they had to address. Obviously, Beanie Bishop as a starter wasn't getting it done, so they went out and got, obviously, like we just mentioned, Jalen Ramsey, Darius Slay, Juan Thornhill on the back end. They had issues in that secondary. Joey Porter Jr. He's not shy of getting burnt like toast too every now and then, but he's I would say the best player they got back there in terms of potential when you take age into account. But can these guys come in and live up to the expectations on paper? Because I just worry that it might be a little more name value than what you're going to get on the field. So we'll see. Time will tell. I'm interested to see it, but that's pretty much all I got on Pittsburgh.
Yeah, running back, they lose Harris, but Jalen Warren's a great back, I think.
Yeah, he had been more productive.
At least equal to Harris.
He had been more productive the last couple years, too.
And then Caleb Johnson from
I didn't
Iowa.
mention that. Did I not mention that?
So it'll be interesting to see what type of role he plays as a rookie, because they also got Kenneth Gainwell from Philadelphia, was kind of Philadelphia's pounding back.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it'll be I don't think Warren can carry the load by himself.
Well, Caleb Johnson was a great running back at Iowa.
Yeah, really good.
I would say he was a top 3 running back in college football. A lot of people had him number 2, even over Amari and Hampton. So I think it'll be interesting. He fits the style that Pittsburgh wants to play. So I think that was a good draft pick. So, yeah, that was a good point. I had it written down. They got him and Derek Harmon as well at defensive end.
Yep.
So, yeah, that's pretty much all I got on Pittsburgh. The Broncos, win total 9.5, shaded to the under, minus 130, plus 110 if you like the over. Sean Payton ahead of schedule, much like Harbaugh. Bo Nix proved me wrong. I would think that's safe to say, but jury's still out. Hadn't won anything yet. Off-season moves, they bring in Evan Ingram, J.K. Dobbins, and then Dre Greenlaw, infamously tore his Achilles running back onto the field in the Super Bowl, and then was it Devondre Campbell? Retired him when he got back with the Niners. Dre Greenlaw obviously was going to come back into the starting role. Devondre Campbell was not happy about it, didn't come back out and play. Said, I'm done, mid-game. Draft picks, they got R.J. Harvey. Loved R.J. Harvey at UCF, running back. Jahdae Barron, one of the better players in the secondary last season for college football. And then Pat Bryant, I believe, was the wide receiver for Illinois. So decent moves there. The Broncos surprised everybody with their success, especially Bo Nix. Do you think that we see some of that second-year Stroud regression for Bo Nix?
Yeah, I think probably so, although you kind of look at running back and you probably say the position's been upgraded with J.K. Dobbins and then drafting Harvey in the second round.
Mm-hmm. Where did Javonte Williams go? I don't even know. Yeah, I don't know.
It must be a NFC team because we've looked into all the AFC teams so far, and but yeah, I don't know. It's tough. You kind of trust Sean Payton here. I think that's a key to Bo Nix's success. I think if he would have went to another team, it'd be a different story we're talking about right now. So I don't know. It's like we were talking about with Los Angeles, the Chargers. It's just the division's tough. I would say the Chiefs and the Chargers are better teams than Denver right now, even though it's strange. Like to win the conference, the Chargers are plus 310, Denver's plus 300, but the win total's both at 9.5. But the Chargers is juiced to 115, and the Denver's 105. So it's kind of like they're looking at these teams as basically even. I think the Chargers are probably a little bit better, though, right now.
Yeah, I mean, the Broncos put emphasis on the defensive side of the ball again, spending their first-round pick on Jahdae Barron. They already have a great defense. You got Pat Surtain, who, if it's not Stingley, it's Surtain as the best cornerback in the league. But then you add Dre Greenlaw as well. It's going to be more good defense from Denver, and then you go and you try to increase the running back room for Bo Nix. It's really, in my opinion, going to come down because you got the same offensive line. Can Bo Nix maintain the production that we saw in his first season? So that's what it's going to boil down to. So, but they got tape on him now, and people are going to defend him a little differently, and they're going to be a little bit more prepared for him. So I would lean towards no. I was low on Bo Nix coming into the league. He proved me wrong year one. We'll see what he can do year two. Do you have anything more on Denver?
No.
Okay. All right. Next one down the list, we're going to the Cincinnati Bengals. 9.5 is the win total for 2025, slightly shaded to the over, -120. Even money if you're going with the under. Al Golden is going to replace Lou Anarumo as defensive coordinator. Comes over. Al Golden has familiarity with the Cincinnati Bengals. He was previously with Notre Dame. But Golden's going to come back. He used to be the defensive backs coach, I think, for Cincy. Went to Notre Dame and manned an incredible defense over there, obviously with the help of Marcus Freeman. Well, he's coming back now to be the defensive coordinator for the Bengals, which has to be an upgrade. I think Anarumo's a good coach, but the Bengals defense was so bad, wasted an incredible season from Joe Burrow, an MVP caliber season, and then an incredible season from Jamar Chase as well. They bring in Lucas Patrick at right guard, and then TJ Slayton as well. They drafted Shamar Stewart and then Demetrius Knight, a linebacker. The Shamar Stewart situation is very interesting because he was first-round pick. They added some weird terminology to his contract that his agent flagged, and Shamar Stewart's been working out at Texas A&M. People are talking about him going back to A&M and then re-entering the draft. Can you even do that? I don't even think.
Yeah, it sounds like you can do it, but
you can get drafted and then say, nope, never mind, I'm going back.
Yeah, I guess if you don't sign the contract.
But they just spent a first-round pick on you.
Yeah, it would be like an unprecedented situation. I'm not totally sure it's legal, but
yeah. You agreed to enter into the draft. You put yourself up for draft eligibility. We spent a first-round pick on you, and you're just going to be like, nope, don't like it. Like, you could handcuff them, basically, a team that, like, really valued the first-round pick, and be like, give me $50 million, or else I'm going back to school.
But he would basically ruin his career doing that.
Definitely, yeah.
So, like, he wouldn't get drafted next year.
Yeah, okay. Do you think he goes back to A&M?
No, I think it came out today. He's just out there working out with the team, and I guess while they work out the specifics of the contract, Mike Elko said he's not coming back to A&M.
Okay, I didn't see that. But yeah, I mean, you would imagine that there would be like, yeah, it's never been done.
He would be blackballed.
Yeah, they would they would set a precedent. Like, no one's going to do this ever again.
Yeah.
So, so Shamar Stewart comes in. He was a quality player at A&M. I think it was more like he showed you what he could do as opposed to like long-term production throughout the entire season. But the intangibles are there. The athletic ability is there. But where does this Cincinnati Bengals defense take this crazy jump unless it's scheme and it's Al Golden coming in? Because you got Demetrius Knight, who you also drafted, who's expected to step in at linebacker. Barrett Carter as well from Clemson, I believe. TJ Slayton comes over at defensive tackle from the Packers. What are your thoughts with Cincinnati? Because they wasted an incredible season from Joe Burrow. I would say this. I think Joe Burrow is the best quarterback in the NFL, and that's not just being biased and having all this Joe Burrow merchandise sitting around me. What he did last season and what he was able to do over and over again with no defense was Drew Brees-esque, and I think just really I would take Joe Burrow over anyone else. So what are your thoughts on the Bengals going into the season?
Yeah, they Burrow's best season, right? Yep. Completes over 70% of his passes for nearly 5,000 yards and 43 touchdowns, only 9 interceptions. They have I would say two top 5 wide receivers in Higgins and Jamar Chase, even though you mentioned it, there is a gap between the top 2 and the rest of the league. But
no, Higgins is great though. That was big of them, too, to make sure that they maintained T. Higgins and didn't let him go somewhere.
And freaking Chase Brown, dude, really emerged there.
Yeah.
And he really wasn't the go-to guy to start the year.
No.
Zach Moss was kind of getting a bulk of the workload, and then
it became
Chase
obvious.
Brown's kind of took over there.
Yeah.
He had 1,350 total yards and 12 total touchdowns. This is a guy that skyrocketed on fantasy football draft boards. So he's going to be considered one of the top running backs in fantasy football this year.
Yeah, you know who drafted him in the 5th round last year? Me. And if Rashee Rice didn't get hurt, I would have won. If Tyreek Hill didn't get COVID the year before, I would have won. So, not that that's important to anybody listening other than me, but I keep getting fucked in fantasy, and I keep making incredible mid-round picks. Chase Brown, Debo before he broke out, Mike Williams when he went crazy that one year. Not important.
But, yeah, they went defense was the issue, man. Defense was the issue. They took their 1st and 2nd round pick and drafted defensive players, and they needed it.
And their 4th.
They were the 25th ranked total defense, the 25th ranked scoring defense, and even with Trey Hendrickson recording 17 and a half sacks, they ranked 25th in sacks.
That's crazy. Yeah. They need Shamar Stewart to step in. And 1, they need him to step into the building. And then 2, they need him to fucking step on the field and contribute right away.
Yeah.
And if they could get some good pass rush opposite of Trey Hendrickson, Logan Wilson's a very good linebacker. The secondary, you got to really hope out. If you're a Bengals fan, you got to really fucking hope that Al Golden's going to come in and shake the room up and get them productive, because they didn't make very many changes.
Yeah, they were 9-8, right? Just outside the playoffs, and they got off to another horrific start, probably the worst start since Burrow's been there, even though every season they start off 0-2, it seems.
Yeah.
But I think they were something crazy. They got off to some crazy horrific start.
Yeah.
And then they end up going 9-8 because of how good their offense was. But even like in a lot of the games, man, they blew a big lead against the Ravens that they ended up losing 38-35 in overtime. They would have won that game. They would have been in the playoffs, I think. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like, even though the defense was so bad, the offense made up for a lot of it, but they definitely need the defense to be better, because this division's good. I think Pittsburgh is still good, and obviously the Ravens are one of the betting favorites for the Super Bowl. So,
yeah, I don't think it'll be worse. I don't think it can get much worse than what it was. It was fucking god-awful last year. The offense is great. Bails out the defense. If you can get a little bit more production out of the defense, that translates to at least one. Like, you win that Ravens game. You get 1, maybe 2 more wins, and then that's a completely different outcome in terms of postseason or not. So, but we'll see. Anything else on the Bengals?
no.
All right, the Colts. Old Anthony Richardson. 7.5 is the win total. Shaded to the under, just barely -120, even money to the over. Lou Anarumo left the Bengals, goes to the Colts. He's the DC over there now. Offseason moves. Basically, Daniel Jones comes in at quarterback, might be the starter. Draft picks, they went with Tyler Warren out of Penn State, who was not the first overall tight end taken. It was the Michigan tight end, blanking on his name for some reason. So then Tyler Warren fell to the Colts. They took him. Give Anthony Richardson another weapon to overthrow. Shane Steichen is firmly on the hot seat entering this season, and Anthony Richardson had the offseason surgery. My hot take is Shane Steichen will be fired before Week 8. I don't know how hot that take even is. I don't know how you have high hopes for the Colts. Anthony Richardson has not shown you much of anything other than the fact that he can throw the ball probably further than anybody in the league. What are your thoughts on the Colts? High hopes, better production from Richardson, or more of the same?
Where did the Colts finish? They were 8-9 last year. Yeah, I don't know. Just hearing obviously Richardson hasn't played well, and neither has Daniel Jones in his career.
No.
So
I'd go with Riley Leonard.
yeah, at this point, put Jason Bean at fucking quarterback.
You have you have 4 quarterbacks. They drafted 4 quarterbacks, and not one of them are good at throwing. They're all good at running. Jason Bean might be the best passer on this fucking roster, but Daniel Jones can scramble. Anthony Richardson's a running back. Riley Leonard was known for fucking running. They went and got all their quarterbacks, and not one is a true pocket passer. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's just not a. It's like if you're a Colts fan, you're not sitting here listening to the stories about this quarterback battle and going, "That's a good thing," because
fuck no.
Your first round draft pick Anthony Richardson is now in a battle with a guy that the Giants just cut.
Yeah, he was not good. Everyone was scratching their head when they drafted him to begin with, meaning Daniel Jones. I was scratching my head when they drafted Anthony Richardson. Would they take him 4th overall? He's making fucking rap music videos outside of a damn 7-Eleven, dude. Like, what are we talking about? This guy is a bust. Our bet is I have Anthony Richardson, or you have Anthony Richardson, and I have Hendon Hooker, or am I getting those mixed?
No, that's it.
Yeah. It's a 50-50 shot. It's even money. If you had to re-bet that right now, it's even money on who makes the Pro Bowl. There is no hope for Anthony Richardson unless they run him like he's Ronnie Brown in the Wildcat.
Yeah, that's what I said. You didn't put him at tight end, or
but just
put him at running
act like
back.
He's not technically a quarterback and just line him up and run Wildcat. And it's like, oh, you drafted him to be your quarterback, divert course, and then now we're going straight Wildcat, him and Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, I think it's he's done. He's going to be done if Daniel Jones wins this job to start the season. Like, at the very least, they got to give Richardson one more shot to start, and if he plays poorly again, then Jones steps in.
But
if he
Daniel Jones would have to dominate him in the battle, though. Like, in all seriousness, I don't think Anthony Richardson's good. We made our bet. But as far as, like, if I'm the GM of the Colts, it would have to be so glaringly obvious that Daniel Jones gives us a better chance to win. Like, Anthony Richardson would have to fucking stink it up for me to not put him out there, because you spent a top 5 pick on him. And he's fast, and he's big, and he can throw it really far. So fucking get creative. Get creative. I'm not going out there with Daniel Jones, who I understand some people would argue has potential and maybe got a bad rap with the Giants. Too many fucking times Daniel Jones made dumbass decisions. I understand he didn't have really any weapons and all of that, at least at the wide receiver position. But you gotta fucking make sure, without a doubt, that you don't have anything with Anthony Richardson, and he's not going to get any better. Is he showing signs of getting better? No, because he's making fucking rap music videos outside of a damn quick stop. So if I'm a Colts fan, I'm not happy at all. And it's like, what the fuck? But I was scratching my head when they drafted Anthony Richardson that high, because if you fucking watched him at Florida, he couldn't pass there. He just has crazy athleticism.
Yeah.
So do you have anything in terms of expectation? Like, what? Like, put your stamp on it right now. Okay, first off, do you think they go with Anthony Richardson to start? Yes or no?
Yes.
Do you think he shows improvement? Or do we get more of the same?
I'm not banking on it.
And they're benching. You would lean towards no. Yeah, I don't see how you couldn't. But
I think, like, if let's say they have to bench him and go to Jones, it's like, I don't know. The Colts aren't in a good position, in my opinion.
I just don't think that that's like something you can. I don't think he can go into the offseason and all of a sudden become a more accurate passer. With him, it's like, I think he's going to try to like go overboard with like touch passes and all of that, and that's going to completely fuck up his style of play. I just don't think you're going to be able to teach this guy to be a better pocket passer. I really don't. Like, the way he overthrows people is the likes of which you've never seen. It'll be a fucking 10-yard comeback route, and he's throwing it to the 6th row and hitting somebody that's holding popcorn. Like, it's like, whoa, how the fuck did you overthrow him by 20 feet? So I just don't think that you can do anything about that. I really don't. Could be wrong. But I don't know. We'll see. Do you have anything more on the Colts?
No.
Okay, we're definitely bottom of the barrel of the conference, so we'll pick up the pace a little bit. At least we're trending in that direction. Let's see. The Dolphins over under 8.5. Minus 190 to the under is what I saw. Plus 160 to the over.
I thought I had. See, I have
I went off
at 7.5.
Okay, I went off of FanDuel.
Almost.
You went DraftKings. It sounds like.
Yeah, 7.5 minus 115 to the over, minus 105 to the under.
Minus 105 to the under. Minus 115 to the over.
Yeah.
Okay, so at 7.5. Okay, so yeah, do you think they get to 8 wins or not? Off-season moves. They went and got Minkah Fitzpatrick, who was with the Dolphins previously, right?
Yeah.
He went from the Dolphins to Pittsburgh, now back to Miami. Mm-hmm. And then Darren Waller coming out of retirement, another gas station music video rapper. Draft picks, they got Kenneth Grant, defensive end. They got Jonah Savine, whatever, offensive lineman, probably from Hawaii. The Dolphins are who they are at this point, in my opinion. I don't think that Tua is going to magically turn a corner. Maybe I'm wrong. I think Devon Achane's fantastic. I think Tyreek Hill's getting older. I think Jalen Waddle showed potential to be a superstar wide receiver, and then, in my opinion, kind of that production went away, at least down the stretch. Am I wrong there?
Yeah, I think he was kind of playing through and missing games with injury.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no, he wasn't. This was his worst year. Last year was his worst year of his career.
Yeah. So the first-round pick was on Kenneth Grant, the defensive end. But they tried to address the defense. They bring in Minkah Fitz, and then they brought in another safety from Detroit. They got Willie Gay from us, backup linebacker KJ Britt as well. So they're putting emphasis on a bad defense. Jalen Phillips keeps getting hurt. It looks like he's going to be healthy and ready to go. Bradley Chubb is obviously still there. Storm Duck, one of the better names in the league, is one of their corners. For me, this all centers around Tua. Do you think we see a good season out of Tua? Do you think Tua has a good season in him, or is he who he is, in my opinion?
I think I don't know. You just kind of look at this. It's like they went 8-9 last year, right? And Tua missed 6 games, and then they were the worst offense in the league for 6 games. They went 2-4 in those games, and they averaged 15 points per game in those contests. So,
does Tua finish this season without losing consciousness?
If he gets another concussion, he's done.
Yeah.
And then Zach Wilson will get another shot.
They really got Theo Weiss as an undrafted free agent? He didn't get picked?
I guess not.
I like that.
I think, and I don't know if anyone would disagree, but if Tua doesn't get hurt, the Dolphins would have been a playoff team. They were 8-9. They lost 2. They only won 2 of the 6 games that he didn't play.
Yeah, but I do agree. But I said Tua did himself a lot of favors by nearly dying, in terms of it took a lot of heat off of how fucking bad he was playing that game.
Oh, yeah.
He was playing so fucking bad, and then we all know what happened.
But it was a totally different – like, the offense couldn't operate without him.
No, of course. Yeah, and they've catered it around
And I
him.
still don't know how their backup was Skylar Thompson.
I know. Every time he would come in, I'm like, he was from Kansas State, right? Yeah. Every time he comes in, it's like, how do you have nobody else?
And
like,
he
gives you no shot.
Tyler Huntley, who changed his name to Snoop.
Yeah. Pro Bowler.
That was wild.
Him and Drake May.
But I think Quinn Ewers is third string on the depth chart right now before the preseason.
Yeah.
He's better than both of those backups.
Oh, 100%.
So you kind of look at
the fact that Skylar Thompson's still in the league is crazy. He is the prototypical USFL quarterback.
Yeah.
Like, that's the guy for the USFL. Like, The Rock needs to give him an offer, and fucking, I don't know how, and he may not be in the league anymore, but that's a good point. Oh, they got Ollie Gordon as well.
So I think if Tua's healthy, the Dolphins can be scrappy.
Well, I love the running back room. Alex Madison was a great backup. He's not a good number one.
Yeah.
I had this conversation with poor Brian. We made a bet on his, I think it was yards. he went under by a fucking mile. He's not a good number one, but he was a great backup for Dalvin Cook. I like the running back room. A-Chain, if he stays healthy, he's a superstar. And then Ollie Gordon was the best running back in football for a little while there. Obviously a terrible last season with Oklahoma State, but their entire team was dog shit. But to get him in the 6th round.
Yeah, it's like some of these teams we're breaking down, you really have to kind of go into the preseason and pay attention to what's happening.
Oh, yeah.
Because the way this running back room plays out, it's going to be very interesting because A-Chain's a smaller back. He's going to have a counterpart here.
Yeah, who's the third down? Or who's not the third down back, but who's the bruising back and the goal line back? And you got to figure out, like this running back room too. The way this depth chart currently sits, this might look completely different. You might see Ollie Gordon shine in the preseason, and then now they're going to give him more touches than Madison. So.
Yeah, if Oklahoma State wasn't dog shit last year, maybe Ollie Gordon
is in the 3rd round.
Is a 3rd or 4th round draft pick, not a 6th round draft pick. So
very possible.
I don't know the division. I think this is one of the up and coming divisions. Obviously, the Bills are the kings of this division, but the Patriots are looking up. They settled the most important position at quarterback, so we'll see how it plays out. But I just look at it last year and like, if Tua doesn't get hurt, I think this team's a playoff team. And on top of that, they had other guys dealing with injuries too, with Waddle, and at a lot of the times, A-Chain was banged up too.
Tyreek Hill got arrested on the sidewalk. Yeah, they dealt with a lot. I have to pee so bad. I'm gonna hold it, but I know you have to pee if I have to pee.
No, I don't.
Really? That's crazy. I have to pee so bad, but I'm gonna hold it. The Jets, win total sits at 5.5, minus 150 to the over, plus 125 to the under. Aaron Glenn comes in at head coach. Steve Wilkes is the DC. Tanner Ingstrad is the offensive coordinator. They went and got Justin Fields at quarterback. Obviously, Aaron Glenn was in the news thanks to Aaron Rodgers because he called Aaron Rodgers in and said, "We're going to let you go." Made him fly cross country to tell him we're not bringing you back. Draft picks, they got a right tackle, Armand Mimbu. They also drafted tight end Mason Taylor out of LSU. I don't know how you have high hopes for this Jets team, to be quite honest with you. And I think the win total represents that. 5.5 wins, although shaded to the over. Justin Fields leading the way at quarterback. Good wide receiver with Garrett Wilson. Clearly, where did Devontae Adams go?
The Seahawks, I think.
Did he really? Okay. I don't have much on the Jets. Do you? I literally wrote Godspeed to the Jets.
No, I don't.
Good running back room.
Yeah.
They're another one. Run the Wildcat with Justin Fields. Act like he's not a quarterback. I'd go 3 backs. Breece Hall, Braylon Allen, Justin Fields in the middle. We'll throw a little curveball at him. Who's going to get it? And then we're getting 4 yards one way or the other, left or right or up the middle.
Who else do they have at quarterback? Tyrod Taylor.
Yep.
Wow.
Adrian Martinez. Another K-State guy. Brady Cook.
Yeah, what a bold move by Aaron Glenn.
To get rid of Rodgers?
Yeah, and go Justin Fields.
Yeah, but I get it. Like, it's a big personality. The roster's the same dog shit roster from the year before, so it didn't work then. It's not going to work now. Why get off to, like make the statement that, well, you're not really rebuilding or starting over with Justin Fields, I guess, because this is another guy who hasn't really shown you anything. So you don't have that, like, early career expectations, and we'll see if he forms type of thing. So, yeah, I mean, you're kind of a bold move, in my opinion, in terms of, like, you're setting yourself up for failure from right off the bat. You know?
Yeah, they're not going to be good. Yeah. And hopefully, for their sake, they end up being really bad so they can get a quarterback.
Yeah. Yeah, they're going to have to. They just made Sauce Gardner one of the highest paid defensive players in the league. I think I'm missing something with there. I've been saying he's not that good. I really don't think he's that good. I maybe I'm off base, but I think the evidence has been there that he's more he gets helped out by the media for sure because he's very marketable. So they can go give him a Wingstop commercial, and then you're seeing him everywhere, and they're like, this guy's great. I don't think he's that good. So, but yeah, I don't really have much on the Jets. They're going to suck. You got anything else?
Nope.
Jaguars, 7.5, -110 each way, over under. They bring in Liam Cohen as the head coach. Made a splash right off the bat with his Duval press conference. Diami Brown, wide receiver, comes over from the Commanders, and then they brought in multiple offensive linemen. Made a splash draft night, moving up to go get Travis Hunter. A lot of people still think Travis Hunter's going to play both ways. I would be shocked. I don't see it. At least maybe not more than a couple times because they want ESPN to talk about it, I'm sure. I think I'm probably a little higher than you on the Jaguars. I think Liam Cohen is a good offensive mind. I think he can probably get the most out of Trevor Lawrence. I think it's a now or never situation for the Jaguars with Trevor Lawrence. They haven't done shit. They've regressed since him first coming into the league. What are your thoughts on their expectations going into the season?
Yeah, I'm giving up on the Jaguars. I don't know when or if Lawrence will ever be good,
But if I remember correctly, we talked about it, and you thought that Travis Hunter would be a good wide receiver.
Yeah.
We already know that Brian Thomas is a good wide receiver. So if you have those guys opposite field, Travis Etienne, he's not going to be a first-round talent like he was drafted to be. Tank Bigsby, to be quite honest with you, seemed to be the more productive running back. But then they went out and got Bashal Tutin from Virginia Tech, and then they got LaQuint Allen from Syracuse. I don't know that either one of those guys are going to pan out to be a superstar, but I think they could be a quality backs.
Yeah, especially Tutin.
LaQuint Allen can catch passes, though. He could be a third-down running back. He's going to fight to make a spot on the roster, I would imagine. But either one of those guys, I think both of those guys will have careers in the league and could be productive. So running back room, I don't hate it. I think the wide receiver room improved. They made changes on the offensive line. And then this is what, year 6? Year 5, I think, for Trevor Lawrence. He came out the year after Burrow, so got to be year 5. You got to go now. And you got a new offensive mind in there. Liam Cohen, what he did with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I think was impressive. If you ask a Buccaneers fan, they were happy to see him go after they rejoiced that he was staying in Tampa. And then it was like a weird situation where, like, in the middle of the night, basically, he was like, psych, I am leaving. And then they're like, fuck him, we didn't want him anyway. They did a victory lap that he was staying. And then we're like, get him out of here. Defensively, I don't think that they're – I don't know. I don't think they're terrible. I really don't. At least on paper, they shouldn't be. I don't think they're as good as the results are not what I would think that they should be, I guess is what I'm getting at. But I think the team has potential. So you're not high on them.
No, I mean, I just don't trust Lawrence. And then I don't know. I mean, look, it's interesting because, look, Baker wasn't in a good spot in his career either. Mm-hmm. And then he goes to Tampa Bay and kind of turns things around and becomes a Pro Bowl quarterback. So
yeah,
maybe that happens here. They definitely have the weapons. They definitely have the weapons on the offense. So
yeah, that's the way I feel. I think Cohen's going to be able to get the most out of Trevor Lawrence, at least from what we've seen so far in his career. That's basically what it boils down to. So we'll see. The Patriots, 7.5 is the win total, shaded to the over, -165, +140 to the under. Mike Vrabel comes in, 1 year and done for Gerard Mayo. A lot of people are like, oh, why would you do it? I think they made the right move. He clearly was not the guy, in my opinion. It looked like he was in over his head. Mike Vrabel comes in, probably the most sought-after head coach this offseason. So the Patriots just go hire their old linebackers. They tried it with Mayo. If Vrabel's out, then fucking Teddy Bruschi might be on the fucking line next year. So Stephon Diggs comes in. That was the biggest offensive move. Give Drake May another weapon. He's doing cocaine on a fucking yacht talking about Cardi B's ass stinking, basically, is what the circulating rumor was. Doesn't seem like Stephon Diggs is dialed in to the He didn't have his nose in the playbook. Let's put it that way. Will Campbell, first-round draft pick, protect Drake May's blind side. And Drake May's going to be a guy. You could see flashes of it last year. Excuse me. He didn't get to start right off the bat, which was crazy in hindsight. But the Patriots shocked everybody, beat the Bengals week 1. And who was it? It was Brissett was the quarterback. But when Drake May got in, there was a clear bump in production in the offense, and his ability to run is very impressive. And he's a true dual threat guy, in my opinion. But I think he showed a lot of flashes that would lead you to believe that he's going to be a good player in this league, and they're doing what they needed to do. They clearly believe that as well. They went out and got him a left tackle and got him one of the better wide receivers in the league when healthy. What are your thoughts on the Patriots going into 2025? Do you think the win total expectancy is accurate or where it should be? What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's where it should be, and it's a big jump from a season ago. And there's a lot to like about New England. Drake May statistically didn't light it up, but when you broke down the film, you got to see a lot of potential, and there's a lot to like about him. Where he really surprised was running the ball, 7.8 yards per rush. I think that led all quarterbacks in the NFL. The wide receiver room, right? They get Diggs. From what I heard, the reports about him being on the boat with drugs, not good. But
not even a report, a video. couldn't be like, that was a faulty report. It was clear video with definite, it was rocks in a bag. And then, he's sitting courtside with fucking Cardi B. It's like.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's what you get with receivers these days, you know? They're just.
Yeah.
They're a little bit
once they
out of
make
the
it,
ordinary.
Once they make it, they're going to go do some. They're going to go bang fucking C-tier female rappers and sit courtside at a fucking Big 3 game and go snort coke on a fucking yacht. That's what they're going to do. And then they're going to come out, and you're going to hope he's going to catch double-digit touchdowns and be Drake May's go-to guy. Probably complete polar opposites of type of people. I'd imagine Drake May's probably reading the Bible and shooting hoops with his brother. So,
what's going to happen here is the reports from camp is that Diggs is kind of taking the younger wide receivers under his wing, right? So that could be a good thing or a bad thing, because either this receiver room is going to get better, or they're going to all develop a cocaine addiction. I don't know. I love Demario Douglas. I think he was an undrafted free agent a while back. I think he's probably the best returning receiver from last year.
Yeah.
They get Mac Hollins.
Yeah.
That's where Mac Hollis went. Is it Hollis or
it's
Mac
Hollins?
Hollins?
It's Hollins.
The fuck? Travion Henderson at running back.
Okay, interesting.
I like that draft pick. His counterpart Judkins having some legal issues.
Yeah, battery. I think probably a nice fucking 6-game suspension coming for Quinshon Judkins, who was moving up in the fantasy draft boards as well. You're gonna see him move down. Somebody's gonna have the balls to take him like round 10, wait 6 weeks, and then you're gonna plug him in and probably win your league. But Travion Henderson, Ramondre Stevenson can't stop fumbling. So Travion Henderson's kind of like a Ramondre Stevenson, but faster. Maybe a little smaller, but faster, and still can lower the shoulder.
Yeah, they kind of bolster the offensive line through free agency and the draft. The defense last year was bad, 31st in total defense, 32nd in yards per play allowed, and 31st in scoring defense. They were able to generate pressure on the passer, though. So that's something to build on. Milton Williams is a stud from Philadelphia, defensive tackle. He wreaks havoc. Statistically, doesn't look like he really lights it up, but I'm telling you, right now I kept having to say, who the hell is 93 every time I watch the Eagles. Carlton Davis at cornerback, I don't know.
He was with Tampa for a while. Nah. But Vrabel's a defensive guy. Vrabel's a very good coach. It was honestly surprising that he was out of a job for as long as he was, in my opinion. But what was it, 1-2 years? You just would have thought he would have got picked up like right away. Yeah, I think the defense is going to go back to being pretty solid.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe not solid, but middle of the pack at least.
They were good with Belichick, and it was the same guys.
Yeah.
He came out and said that. It's like, I don't know why they're so bad now.
Yeah.
And he was kind of throwing a jab at Mayo.
Who was throwing his guys under the bus.
Yeah, saying, I can't go out there and tackle him or whatever. He was basically saying that. He can't go out there and make them play hard.
Yeah, he's like, I've done all I can do.
That's why he got fired.
Basically, they got to bail me out. I can't do anything and make them play better. It's like, yeah, well, you could coach them.
Yeah, so I think, like, from a betting perspective, I was hoping to see, the win total a little bit lower here. I don't know if the Patriots are a playoff team just yet. So to get over 8.5 wins, you're flirting with 9. So you're like on the borderline of making the playoffs. I don't know if they're there yet. But I do think that they're a lot better than they were last year.
Yeah, I think that's without a doubt. All right, we'll go on to the Raiders. 3 left. Let's see. The Raiders, 7.5 wins, shaded to the under, -160, +135 to the over. It's going to be a new look Raiders coaching staff. Pete Carroll comes in, head coach, old as shit. But interestingly, Chip Kelly comes in as offensive coordinator, fresh off of a national championship with Ohio State. So Ohio State loses both offensive and defensive coordinators after winning the national championship. And then Patrick Graham is going to be the DC. They went and got Geno Smith as quarterback. Raheem Mostert is going to come in at running back, but they spent a first-round draft pick on Ashton Jeanty. They also drafted Jack Besh, former LSU Tiger, TCU, Horned Frog. Pete Carroll's still kicking. Chip Kelly can coach offense, at least on the college level. We'll see if it can translate to the NFL. I don't know how I feel about the Raiders, to be quite honest with you. Obviously, 7.5 wins. Maybe a little different from what you're seeing. Like I said, I went with FanDuel. I don't love Geno, and I haven't ever loved Geno. It was a cool story. They wrote him off, didn't write back. He got a chance to make some money and play in the league and this and that after his stint with the Jets. Never really panned out from the expectations from West Virginia. I don't know. I don't see Geno going to the Raiders and lighting it up. I think Ashton Jeanty's a great running back, but I think that they're going to put a lot of emphasis on stopping him. What are your thoughts with the Raiders?
Yeah, I don't know. I like what they did in the draft. But I don't know. You're asking for a big turnaround here from them.
Yeah.
And Geno Smith, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a lot of unknown.
A guy that can keep you in the game and maybe, you're probably going to lose it at the end.
You're not going to get blown out.
Right.
But it's like, yeah, in all seriousness, it's like he's just inconsistent. He's not able to do it throughout the course of an entire season. He'll have a couple games where it's like, damn, Geno played great. And then he'll go out and throw 3 interceptions the next week. So it's a lack of consistency. And you got to have a lot of talent around him. He's not going to be able to go out and he's not going to Joe Burrow put the team on his back, which maybe a little poor example there because they have, like you said, 2 top 5 wide receivers and a running back that came on. But the point is he's just not going to get it done for you. You're going to be able to sell tickets with Geno Smith, and you're going to put seats in that very expensive new stadium that they built out there in Las Vegas, but you're going to fight for the postseason. It would be a good season if you made the postseason. Probably not going to, and then that's about it. That's really all you're going to get. I don't feel confident one way or the other, like, it's going to be a bad year or it's going to be or bet the over. I'm indifferent. I'm interested to see how it plays out. I'm interested to see how productive Ashton Jeanty is from day one because he is the best running back in this draft class, and he should have won the Heisman Trophy. But a lot of emphasis is going to be on stopping him. So I don't really have much outside of that, though. I don't.
Yeah, the problem with the Raiders is they're sitting in what's likely the best division in football right now.
Yeah.
So the chances of them not finishing last, to me, are very slim.
Slim to none. I agree. I agree. All right, the Browns. I didn't write the win total somehow, but it's shaded to the under, -145. What do you have? Not the Browns. Yeah, the Browns.
5.5, I think.
5.5. Okay. Tommy Reese comes in as offensive coordinator. Stefanski still maintains his job as the head coach. Off-season moves, and got Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett, and then their draft picks. They got Dylan Gabriel and Shador Sanders. Also, Quinshon Judkins and Mason Graham on the D-line. Mason Graham is who they spent the first-round pick on. A lot of quarterbacks. Who the fuck is going to start? Probably Flacco, you would imagine, but I don't know. I have no idea. I really don't. You spent a third-round pick on Dylan Gabriel, and then you went and got Shador Sanders. I don't know what they're fucking doing at all. Nick Chubb is gone, who was like basically the face of your offense and team. He kind of embodied the Cleveland Browns, in my opinion. I don't know what the identity of the Cleveland Browns is. They paid Myles Garrett a lot of money after he said he wanted to leave. They're going to suck. They're probably going to suck. They'll scratch and claw out a few wins of like low-scoring games, and when it's raining and they're running it and they're fucking. I don't have high expectations for the Browns. So, do you have anything past that?
No, not really. Yeah, just a lot of what they did in the draft and then in free agency, you combine both of those, it doesn't make sense. They drafted a quarterback in the 3rd round and the 5th round, and it wasn't like you only had one quarterback on the roster. You still have 3 quarterbacks. So they have 5 total quarterbacks.
Who's the 5th?
Watson.
Oh, that's right.
So
I've just written Deshaun Watson off.
It's like usually you expect your 5th round pick to make the team. Definitely your 3rd round pick.
Yeah.
And it's like you're looking at this, not all these guys can make this team.
So do Shador or Dylan Gabriel, do one of the two get cut?
I think it's tough.
If you cut Dylan Gabriel, why the fuck would you draft him in the 3rd?
Yeah, they'd look really stupid if they had to do that. But it's like they traded for Pickett from Philadelphia, so if you cut him, you look dumb as well.
They're gonna look dumb no matter what.
And then
they look dumb from the Deshaun Watson trade. Thank God we didn't do that. Yeah. They'd look dumb for the rest of eternity. But do they cut Shador Sanders?
I guess it's a possibility. I mean, but
ESPN would fucking implode.
It's like
Mel Kiper. They would have to put Mel Kiper on fucking. They would have to get eyes on Mel Kiper and put him in a room.
It's gonna But then they draft Judkins, and then they go and draft Dylan Sampson as well. So it's like, I don't know. You didn't think you needed. Not that I dislike either one of those players, but it just seems like they're collecting quarterbacks and running backs.
Yeah, they spent a lot of capital on one of the more expendable positions, and then they spent a lot of capital on the most important position, but none of which are like clear-cut number 1 guys.
Yeah.
It's head-scratching.
The Browns are going to start at least 3 quarterbacks in 2025.
At some point, you're saying?
Yeah, throughout the
season. I would agree with that. They might even go for the fucking – they might do 4. You might kick the top. You might go Flacco. He's old and stinks. Pickett stinks. Maybe this is Pickett's chance, though. Fucking cash that Pro Bowl bet. This is Pickett's best chance. It's just hitting me like a ton of bricks. This is the only chance. It's Pickett and Corral. Corral's dead. This is Kenny Pickett's best chance to make the Pro Bowl. Because Flacco, we got to get him out of there. And then Pickett.
Where is Matt Corral?
Fucking. Probably State Farm. Or fucking bartending.
I don't know with I guess Watson. I guess you don't want to expect much from him. He got injured in October, it looks like.
Yeah. Well, then he re-injured it.
Yeah.
He re-injured it on vacation. The biggest idiot in the history of the NFL. All right. Let's keep it moving. Let's bring it home. I have to pee so bad. We're going to bring it home with the Tennessee Titans, the final team in the AFC. They picked number 1 in the draft, which means their expectations are probably not super high. 5.5. Shaded to the over, -150, +110 to the under. Brian Callahan, Nick Holtz at OC, Denard Wilson at defensive coordinator. They bring in Tyler Lockett and Van Jefferson to surround their number 1 overall pick, Cam Ward, with average weapons. I don't have high expectations for the Titans. I think we both talked about this was a very weak quarterback draft class. That's why you saw Cam Ward go number 1. What are your thoughts on the Titans? Do you have anything? I have nothing, literally. All eyes will be on Cam Ward because he was the number 1 overall pick. I'm interested to see if when he's running out of bounds, if he runs nonchalant. That's about it.
Yeah, I think Restrepo, Xavier Restrepo, an undrafted free agent, is the best wide receiver on this team.
And that's a problem. I do love Restrepo, though.
I couldn't believe he went undrafted.
I agree. He's just a good football player.
Like, I get it. Okay, look, measurables aren't there. 40 times not there. It's like, whatever. If you can play, you can play. And this kid can certainly play.
He has a histamine response where his face swells up sometimes. So maybe that threw
Oh,
off.
shit.
His lip gets all fat. But it's like periodically.
Yeah, I think Restrepo is going to make the team and probably contribute as a rookie.
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
But other than that, I don't know if you expect much from the Titans. Although their division isn't the toughest, it's like, I don't know. It's like they're probably going to be looking back for a while and wondering why they fired Vrabel.
Yeah, I would agree with
when
that
Vrabel
as well.
wins a Super Bowl with Drake May.
And then they got rid of A.J. Brown, sent him to go win the Super Bowl with the Eagles. Got rid of Derrick Henry, sent him to possibly go win the Super Bowl this year with the Ravens. Yeah, they got rid of all their good players when they were still good, and their good coach. Bold move. But, all right, bring us home. What is you said you have 2 bets that you think.
I think we're going to go, we'll go with 2.
Well, you can do one. Which one's your favorite of the 2? Give us your favorite bet for the AFC conference.
I have my shit all in division order. Yeah, so we're going to go the Cleveland Browns under 5.5 wins, -140. You just heard us talk about them. I think the way the teams run is kind of they're in trouble. I think it's going to be a tough decision to they're probably going to go with Flacco, but when Flacco, I know a couple years ago he had success in Cleveland, but as time goes on and he gets older and older, I think eventually you're not going to see him have any more success, and they're probably going to have to go to another quarterback and then probably another one after that. So we're going to go Cleveland Browns under 5.5 wins. But I also like the Texans. I think the Texans are clearly the best team in their division. So we're going to go the Houston Texans to win the AFC South +110.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to take the Browns under 5.5, -140 as well. I like that. I had a feeling you were going to go Texans. Obviously, like I said, I'm a little higher on the Jaguars, so I'm gonna stay away from that one. I do think the Texans are the best team in the division, but there's still just question marks, and if Cohen can get the most out of Trevor Lawrence. But yeah, I don't feel confident either way there. But so I will go Browns under 5.5 as well. And that should do it for episode 227. Do you have anything to say before we go?
Nope.
Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Again, much like with college football, the reason we're doing this is to brush up on who went where and just get a good grasp on the NFL going into the season. There's a lot of times, I'm sure, where you'll be watching and either preseason or what, and you'd be like, oh, shit, I didn't know fucking Nick Chubb was on the Texans. So we're doing that ahead of time and getting a head start and finding out who went where, and it's going to benefit us going forward into this season. Again, like I said, this is going to be a very, very big season with the Circa Millions contest, and we want you to come along for the ride with us. And I'll probably make another video and put a little more info out on what we're doing and things like that. And we have our big Vegas trip coming up that we're excited about. So hit the like and subscribe button. There's going to be a lot of content coming out this season. And you never know. When this season's over, we might look back on this episode and be like, Jesus Christ, look at all the money we made. And we might retire. We might not have to do this podcast anymore. So, all right, again, hit the like and subscribe. Y'all have a good one. Who dat?
The house always wins. Play long enough, you never change the stakes. The house takes you. Unless, when that perfect hand comes along, you bet big, and then you take the house.
I've been practicing this pitch.
A little bit. Did I rush it? Felt like I
That
rushed
was
it.
good. I liked it.